This is Triple Play Fantasy. We are now in Week 14 fantasy football. That means it's time to get you ready to make the playoffs. Stay tuned so we can help you win. Hey everyone, this is Zach at Tulipa Batman. I'm your host. I'm joined today, as always, by the wonderful Alex at AlexMateo94, Doc at AAA Fantasy, and we have a special guest today, Shane at FF Shane B. How's it going tonight, Shane?
I am doing much better now that I'm with you guys. It was a little bit of a hellscape at my house with 3 kids trying to get them all to bed and cook dinner. So we're good now.
I feel that. How old are the kids, if you don't mind me asking?
I have a 5-year-old and almost 4-year-old. She turns 4 on Saturday, and a almost 1-year-old.
Awesome. Yeah, nice. I got a 7, a 4, and an almost 9-month-old. So I had kid duties and dinner duties tonight. So that's why we do the show when we do, because they're all in bed. I pass off the baby to my wife when she's.
I don't know how you guys do it.
Right?
I'm exhausted just make hearing that.
So I did bath time. We got it all. I read books for bed. We got it covered.
And you have the energy for a podcast. Wow. Yeah. Kudos.
We did not get bathed in tonight. We probably should have, because it was spaghetti night, but it was we didn't have as many casualties with that as I thought we were going to.
Always a good time. We don't have to clean up too much.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are still tuning in, we are going to talk fantasy football. We appreciate you guys listening to us. If you are watching on YouTube, great way to ask questions. We're here to help you win. Hopefully get in the playoffs. If you're on X, we appreciate you watching there. No way to ask us questions. But thank you again for liking, subscribing, all that fun stuff to support the team here at Triple Play Fantasy. But we'll get right into it. Week 13. Woo! It was rough, but Shane, what's your takeaway for Week 13?
I have said for a lot of this season that the Eagles, even despite some of their shortcomings and inconsistencies, have been one of the best teams in the league, and the 49ers kind of dismantled them. So my takeaway is that the 49ers are going to continue to get scary, especially with this defensive line led by Chase Young and Nick Bosa, as they continue to get more and more chemistry with each other. And the way that this offense runs, like, as long as Kyle Shanahan can stay out of his way in the playoffs, they're a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, I think if they stay healthy, they're going to be tough to beat.
Let me just say, as a Niners fan, nothing matters unless we win the Super Bowl. Even if we make it to the Super Bowl and lose, it does not matter.
Yeah.
Not to rain on your parade, Doc, but since you're a 49ers fan, what's the track record of your team staying healthy?
We had like 2 years where we were really killed by it. But we've been, like, the year we lost to the Chiefs, we had a relatively healthy team. This year we've been relatively healthy. Quarterback was just really bad last year, but kind of the rest of the team was healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as a Cowboys fan, I gotta wear my Des Bryant jersey. I don't want them to do well, but I mean, they are a great team, so I can appreciate them having a great roster and just kicking ass.
Yeah, this won't be the last time we see the Eagles and 49 play.
I hope not.
I said it at the beginning of the year when the schedule came out. I said the winner of that Week 13 matchup will be hosting the rematch for the NFC Championship.
Yeah.
And I fully still think that. Eagles played 3 games in 13 days, but this isn't a pity party for the Eagles. I did lose my bet with Eric, and I have to say something nice about the 49ers. Kyle Shanahan completely outcoached Nick Sirianni and the Eagles staff from top to bottom. They took advantage of the Eagles having 3 practice squad linebackers, and that was it. They made them attempt to tackle, but no one made a single tackle. You have Bradbury after the game saying there was a lot of looks that we didn't see. So if you didn't see these the week leading up to it, you were out coached, out game planned from top to bottom, and
You know what? As a 49ers fan, I didn't think I'd enjoy that victory, but as it was happening, I enjoyed it because I never would have thought the game was going to play out like that. I thought it'd be a low scoring game. I did not think that point differential, and just that unexpected and shutting, not you, Alex, but a lot of those Eagles fans up.
If it was 14-0 instead of 6-0 after those first two series, it could have been completely different. And the second half, San Fran, they were just more physical, top to bottom. It seems like those 3 games in 2 weeks really took that toll.
Yeah.
So Alex,
see the rematch.
The depressing Eagles loss for you.
Hey, it's on the Dallas week, so
are we making the same bet?
Yeah, we'll make the same bet.
All right.
Love it.
And Doc, what's your takeaway from week 13?
So the Dolphins are number 1 in the AFC, but I don't think we're talking about them as much as we should for being a Super Bowl contender. They have a couple games that are going to be tough to end the year versus Cowboys, at Ravens, and versus Bills. The next 2 weeks, Titans and Jets. Right now, the Ravens are tied with them at 9-3. The Ravens have a difficult schedule themselves. After that, the Chiefs have 4, and they look pretty beatable, and the Jags have 4. The reason I say that, Miami's 5-0 at home this season. I could see them getting home field advantage for the playoffs. It is going to be very tough for somebody to keep up with them offensively. The defense has been playing well of late, and I'm not sure what the odds are for them to at least win the AFC, but I feel like they're not being talked about as much as they should be. Tyreek is, but not the team itself.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Does
and we
the
do
fact that has Miami, other than Philly and Buffalo, played any teams with winning records? I'm not sure what.
So their 3 losses versus Kansas City in London, at Eagles, and at Bills. The Bills was the really bad one where they lost by 28. But the Bills do that once or twice a year and kind of show you who they are. Like, so if the Bills didn't make the playoffs, I'd feel so much better.
Yeah, so I got the odds. Kansas City Chiefs are favored right now. This is at least on Hard Rock Bets. Plus 225. Ravens are plus 260. Then Miami is plus 300.
That seems like value.
Yeah, there's a significant dip down to the Jaguars at plus 1,000. And I got to imagine that'll change again with Trevor Lawrence having a high ankle sprain. Houston Texans are actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5th right now.
This is just to come out of the AFC, right?
This is to be the AFC conference winner.
Okay.
Seems about right.
All right, we have a question from Stephen Joe on YouTube asking about Yahoo. What's up, fellas? Do you guys use Yahoo for fantasy? I do have one league with Yahoo. I don't use it much anymore, but I have used it in the past.
Yeah, likewise. I mostly use Sleeper and ESPN.
I think I'm 85% on Sleeper and about 10% MFL, and then I got one league on ESPN.
Yeah, I got everything over to Sleeper except for the one. So it's been nice. But if you guys have any more questions, please just drop them in. We're happy to answer them. Speaking of injuries and Trevor Lawrence, we go over the injury update real quick. It's going to take a little bit. I'm going to try to go quick. There's a lot. And I'm not even covering everybody. I'm just trying to hit some of the bigger names. So Trevor Lawrence, where it says has a high ankle sprain. No timetable yet for return. Derek Carr has a concussion plus some other injuries. I can't imagine he's coming back this week since it's a second concussion in a month.
He practiced today.
He practiced?
I think he practiced today.
No. Well, we should all hope that he doesn't play.
The man down.
No offense. Yeah.
Oh, wait, Derek Carr. Sorry, not Derek Henry practiced today.
Oh, yeah, no. Derek Carr. Yeah. Derek Carr, I think he's going to be out for a couple weeks. Derek Henry, he apparently does not have a concussion, and he did practice today. So I would expect him to play Monday night. But we'll see. Ramondre Stevenson, high ankle sprain. I imagine his season's pretty much done from a fantasy standpoint. Brian Robinson has a hamstring injury. He's on bye this week, and he's got some tough matchups when he gets back for your fantasy playoffs. Zach Charbonnet's got a knee bruise is what they're calling it. And we don't really know much more than that at this time. DeAndre Swift has an undisclosed injury. Not sure what happened at the end of the game. Haven't seen anything about it yet.
That's what happened.
Yeah, but I haven't seen what the injury is, so we'll find out. Tank Dell, unfortunately, broke his ankle. He's done for the year. Amari Cooper has a concussion, and he was playing through a rib injury last week, so it wouldn't shock me if he misses at least this week. Christian Kirk, we found out, has some kind of groin abdominal injury, probably like a sports hernia. He's done for the season, or at least from a fantasy standpoint. Christian Watson has a hamstring injury. I can't imagine he's playing in the next couple weeks or so based on him. And then Tyler Higbee was in concussion protocol. I believe he cleared it, and it was a neck stinger issue. So still up in the air of whether he's going to play this week. So lots of injuries. And we do have a question. I'm guessing this is Rachel, since it says the Tootsie Pop. Speaking of Trevor Lawrence, do I drop him and grab Browning or Minshew? I would probably get Minshew over Browning.
Yeah.
Or she said, or hold Trevor Lawrence and drop Tutu or Foreman. Oh, I would just drop Tutu. You don't need Tutu.
Yeah,
I would drop Tutu or Foreman.
Yeah. I don't expect Trevor Lawrence to come back for at least a couple weeks, but
he
had that knee last year, and he came back. He played 4 days later? Yeah, on a Thursday night game. So you never know. But yeah, drop Tutu. You're not using him, or Foreman. Honestly, you're not gonna use him either.
Foreman's been hurt too, so
yeah, either one. So with all those wonderful injuries, it's been tough this year. I said this on the last. I think it was the last show, or maybe a couple shows ago. I think the injuries. I think the volume has been about the same from what I can remember. It feels like we got tons of injuries every year. It's the quarterbacks that I think have a higher amount of injuries, so it affects so many more players.
Else, yeah.
And now we have Trevor Lawrence, so it's just been rough.
This is why you got to roster multiple QBs.
Yeah,
and that
I know.
I feel like that strategy will be implemented regardless of how many QBs you start moving forward because of this season, like you said, Zach. Because if you really think about it, just off the top of my head, Richardson, Rodgers, Cousins, obviously Lawrence, Burrow. Carr was supposed to be good.
Deshaun Watson.
Tyler missed a lot of time. Watson. Now Kenny Pickett.
I was going to say Kenny Pickett.
I didn't even have him on my list.
Just off of Daniel Jones. Just off the top of my head, without even actually going through.
I mean, that's one.
Purdy missed some time. That's a third of the league.
Yeah.
So I think if you used to draft a quarterback like Mahomes or Jalen Hurts or Josh Allen, like if you have gotten one of those three that are really durable, then you've been good. But otherwise, like it's an essential.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. So we'll have some fun though. Hopefully, making you guys some money this week. So our favorite prop or just our favorite bet for week 14, Shane, what you got cooking for us?
All right, so this one feels really, really easy. Kyron Williams on Prize Picks has a 0.5 over underline for a passing, rushing, and receiving touchdown. So I'm taking the over on that because if he gets one, bam.
Love it. He's been on fire.
Yeah, go on. I'm not saying
I could see the Rams putting up a few points in Baltimore.
I'm not saying. But I am saying I had Kyron as my RB3 in that class.
All right.
So you I appreciate it.
I knew he could be this kind of back if he got the volume.
Just need that health. It just like that. Was it like the first kick return of the season? He wrecked his ankle.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll do it. And Doc, what you got cooking for us?
I like the Colts -1. Colts have won 4 in a row. They've scored 25 in at least 5 out of their last 6 games. And it doesn't seem to matter who's starting at quarterback or running back. Like they're on their backup quarterback and their backup running back. And their offense looks as good as it has this entire year. And I think unless you really kind of look down, and the Bengals did look good yesterday. I think that's recency bias that plays into a little bit of it. But they scored 10 against the Steelers the week before and 20 against the Ravens the week before. And Burrow scored, I think, like 13 of those points on his own. So I just feel like kind of that shine is coming for the Bengals. But if you just look from the trends, they should be favored by more than 1.
No, I agree. Shane Steichen's done a great job with that team as a first-year guy. He should be getting some Coach of the Year.
I feel like there's like 8 coaches that could be Coach of the Year this year.
There definitely could be.
Who you got, Alex, for your prop bet?
Oh, this pains me to say it, but Dak set at 280 for passing yards, and he might hit that in the first half against the Eagles defense the way they've looked the last few weeks. Dak's hit that in 5 of the last 6 weeks. 3 of the last 4, the Eagles have given up the number 1 or 2 fantasy quarterback. The only week it wasn't was when we played the Chiefs, surprisingly enough. And they're just going to throw all over the yard. It's going to be similar to the last time they played, but I think it's going to be a shootout all 4 quarters.
So I might be biased. I am biased. I'm a Cowboys fan, and I got these odds yesterday. So Cowboys are favored -3.5. And I think it's a reasonable line, but you could take that spread. You could take that line for +100 yesterday on Hard Rock Bets. I'm like, why not put a little bit down just for plus odds? Like, why not?
Spoken like a true degenerate.
He is.
I'm trying. But yeah, no, I thought that was interesting. My bet of the week, I'm going with the Jets total points. Don't worry, I'm going the under. They set them at 13.5, which doesn't sound like a lot. It's not. Can you picture the Jets scoring 2 touchdowns?
No.
Or
I could see them getting a safety, a touchdown, a couple field goals, like maybe 3 field goals.
And stumbling over it.
You would still need a touchdown, so I get you 7, and then you would still need.
Oh, what if they went for 2 based on
4
that?
field goals? They're not going for 2. I can't see them getting that many possessions.
Field goals.
Yeah.
Zach, I'm with you, but like I'm giving you fluke alternatives of how it could hit the over without touchdowns.
I mean, at one point they were up 2-0 last week, so
it was like 7-5, 8-7. Like baseball.
I think their only shot is if they get a pick 6, which is possible.
A defensive touchdown and a special teams touchdown.
But
then they stumble into a field goal.
But I'll take that at -125. That just feels easy. So yeah, hopefully you guys are making some money. I think we've been doing okay with our bets. We've had some good ones, some bad ones. But we'll move to my favorite segment. Are you a Seinfeld man, Shane?
Unfortunately, no.
That's okay.
Oh.
So for those of you who like Seinfeld, you'll get the reference. If you don't, that's okay. You'll still understand the game. So we're playing real and spectacular or fake, basically true or false. So I'm going to give you a statement. You tell me if it's true or if it's false. So it's real, spectacular, fake. So playing defense against other managers with waiver pickups is a good strategy if you have the bench space. Is that real and spectacular or fake?
Is this to me?
It's for all of you, but you can go first, Shane.
Yeah, this is real and spectacular. This is beautiful strategy. If you can, how to put this politically correct? If you can give another manager the finger without actually giving him the finger, then you absolutely have to do it. Especially if it's the guy that you're going up against that week. Like, for example, my dad and I played each other last week. I did come out with the victory, but we had both put in a claim for Zach Moss earlier in the week. And I texted him some not so nice words because he got him because I was like 11th in priority. But yeah, if you can play defense against either the guy you're playing or somebody else that's close to you in the standings, you got to do it.
Especially this time of year going into the playoff push. I feel like we talk about this in some variation the last few, whether it's stashing defenses, quarterbacks. The answer is yes. You want to try and make it to give yourself the best possible odds to make it all the way.
We've talked about the quarterback injuries. I've talked about before, 1 out of my leagues, I had 3 out of the top 12 starting quarterbacks, and David needed a quarterback so bad. And never let David live this down. He turned down Dak right before he went off for Dallas Goedert, who's his backup tight end. I'm so glad that he did not do it.
Thanks for joining us, Bo. I don't think we're all sober. But I hope you're having a good time, Bo.
Case in point, though, he ended up trading for Kyler Murray, who was a free agent pickup, and gave up Garrett Wilson. Now, is the production value there? No. But someone in our league got someone that was valued at a second-round pick for a free agent pickup. So,
yeah, no, I think this was an easy real and spectacular for everybody. It's just more of I want to just have a little talking point for you all to give a little PSA to everybody out there.
That if you don't do it,
yeah. But yeah, you should be playing defense. That's the whole point. It's just another strategy. Pay attention, especially now. If you know you're in the playoffs or you're trying to keep somebody out of it, see what they're doing, see what they need, have fun with it. I mean, why would you not try to give yourself the best odds to win by making the other teams.
This is why Shane, are you still in Scott Fishbowl?
No, I didn't even make the playoffs. This is the first time that I didn't make it.
My first time making the playoffs. So. Balance.
Balance, yeah. I've seen a lot of that. People that either made Scott Fishbowl playoffs for the first time or missed it for the first time.
Yeah.
How do you? That's in response to Bo.
These are some spicy comments, Bo.
I love it, Bo. Bo's having a good time. Spicy, I get it. Go buy Bo spices. Tyreek Hill should be the NFL MVP this year. Emphasis on should. Real and spectacular or fake? We'll start with Alex first.
I think he should. I absolutely think he should. You take him off that Dolphins team, they're not going to be what they are.
Yeah,
yes, Tua has played well, but there's just no way that they're putting up this prolific of the season without him. He's on pace to be the first receiver to ever have 2,000.
Like, let me ask you: if somebody averaged 25 points a game, would you say that that's good? What position? You'd be like, damn, they went off against me if they averaged 25.
That's probably Tyreek's average.
It's 26.1. So if Tyreek had 25, you'd consider yourself
a down week. Yeah, that's a down week.
And what's crazy is was it like McCaffrey was up close to 30 that one year, but I mean he's never gonna win MVP. But it's because he's like Tyreek's actually saying that was a fantasy thing. This is like real life NFL.
Yeah,
like, Tyreek is just like unstoppable.
Yeah,
and it's one of those. The system is built around him.
I think if he played a little bit longer, he'd be a top 5 wide receiver of all time.
I think you can argue that.
Yeah. And how about you, Shane? Is he should be the MVP?
Yeah, I think so. He's on pace to hit 2,000 pretty easily, right? He's not already there.
Yeah, I think
he's not there yet.
A little more than 110 per game to hit it, I think.
Yeah, I think if he hits the 2,000, then it's a lock. And even without hitting the 2,000, I still think it's a pretty good shot.
Yeah, I think especially if we see if Dallas beats the Eagles or vice versa, and then one of them stumbles again, and then Purdy stumbles, because I think it's between those 3 quarterbacks. I think it's if they all kind of stumble over each other, and Tyreek hits 2,000, he could actually legitimately pull it off. Otherwise, I think if one of those quarterbacks just continues to go off the rest of the season, I just don't see him getting MVP. I think it'd be Offensive Player of the Year, but he should get MVP.
He should, and that's the thing with the 3 quarterbacks. Ironically enough, for all 3 of our teams, you can make a solid case against all 3 of them. The only thing against Tyreek is his position. Other than that, he meets every credential that you would want in an MVP.
Yep.
But he's not a quarterback, which is the only reason why they would not give it to him.
Yep. And Shane, I think you had another bet you wanted to share with us.
Oh, yeah. So I was entering in some of the ones that we put on our slip for prize picks. Nico Collins, 55.5 receiving yards. Smash the over on that.
Yeah. Feels easy with, unfortunately, no Tank Dell anymore.
That means it's a trap. It's too easy.
Talk about that. Why was Tank Dell in a push play? Why? That's bad coaching. When they say players can get injured in that, that's what they mean. When a smaller guy is at the bottom of the dog pile. It's just dumb to put him in that position.
Yep.
But
there's a few different times that happened, not from a push play, but just in players not in the right position.
It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yep. And my last real and spectacular or fake fantasy football is 50% skill and 50% luck. Doc, we'll start with you on this one.
So, Zach, I'm going to give a U-type answer.
Perfect.
In terms of how you finish the year, like your standings-wise, if you make the playoffs, that's 50-50. You can't control if people have good games against you or the lineups they make. Your points scored, the team that you put out each week, I think is 70-30. Because if you draft well, if you're active on waiver wires, if you make good trades, you buy low, you stack up at one position, you can make up for in points scored. You can be gritty and grindy about it. So
I like it.
Yeah, I was about to say I agree with Doc there. It's winning in fantasy is more luck than skill. Like winning a championship, that is. Because normally the best teams make it to the playoffs. But let's say your playoffs start next week. You lose Trevor Lawrence, Tank Dell, and Derrick Henry. You could have had all three of them in your lineup. You're going in the playoffs without those three. So like you said, the most points in the regular season is more skilled. The winning the championship is more luck.
All right. How about you, Shane?
Yeah, I think I agree kind of with the premise of what they were saying, where it's getting there is skill, and then the playoffs are luck. The the best team in my home league, Dynasty League, has not won the championship yet. He's made it to, I think, 2 out of 3 semifinals, and we're in finals, and we're in year 4, and he's never won.
That's facts, Bo.
He lost 1 year by like 2 points, and then he lost last year by like 11. So,
is he projected to make it this year?
Yeah, he's projected to make it again this year, and I'm in contention for 2nd or 3rd place. I won last year, and I'm like, I don't know if I can beat him, so I'm hoping somebody takes him out before he gets to the finals.
It sounds like he'll take care of losing himself in the finals. So.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, no, I agree with all of you guys. That's why I put it in here. I think there's a misconception of if you don't win it all, then it was a bad year. It sucks to lose, but that doesn't mean you had a bad year. Just some unlucky breaks. I would say, and I think I gave this example when we talk about whether you want to win a championship or finish the regular season or all that kind of stuff. It's in a one season thing. There's definitely more luck than skill overall. I would say if we're looking at your fantasy career, if you're looking at however many seasons you've played, I would say your success is based more on skill than luck over the long term. I mean, it's all about sample size. And
you hope with fantasy football, like we said, the decisions being bad luck, it's the yin and yang. Like maybe you're the first seed, you have a really good regular season record, and in the semifinals you lose 3 players to injury. But in that other league, you snuck in as like a 7th seed and you got really hot and won.
Yeah.
You hope that balances out.
Yeah. That's why you play in more than one league. It's more fun. Don't go crazy.
But don't play in too many.
Yeah. Know your limit. There is a limit, but more than one league is a lot more fun. Because if you end up just getting really unlucky in that one league, it's miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of miserable, talking about some players that are miserable being on your roster, who are we yeeting off your roster? So you cannot stand them anymore. We'll start with Shane. I will, before you even say it, Shane, I already agree with you because I mentioned him, I think, 2 weeks ago on the show. So I 100% agree with you, and I can't believe his rostership percentage is as high as it is. Who are you yeeting off your roster, Shane?
So I want to preface this with I still like the guy, but his production is not meeting standards to be on your roster, specifically in redraft. And it's Jerry Jeudy. So his rostership in redraft is 71% on Sleeper. He's had 3 games all year in the top 30, and they were 29, 29, and 30.
Yep.
He does not have a wide receiver 2 week or better all season long. Cut him. It's gonna hurt. I'll help pull the knife out of your back, but you gotta cut him.
If you didn't listen to me 2 weeks ago, listen to Shane now. Yeah. Just get rid of him. He's not gonna help you.
It seems like Russ just has a better connection with Sutton than Jeudy. Like Judy's still getting a relatively decent target, but it's not the type of production off of those targets that you need for where
because he's not catching the ball.
Yeah.
He had another bad drop last week.
So
Doc, who are you eating off your roster?
I'm eating Hollywood Brown. The Cardinals have a bye this week, so if you wanted to roster like a defense for the playoffs or get a backup QB if you need one, under 50 receiving yards in 7 out of his last 8 games, coming off a heel injury, and they come back and play the 49ers, a team that typically plays them well. At that point, would you really feel comfortable starting? Like, What would be the line at wide receivers where you're like, I feel comfortable starting him? You might start someone that had a flash in the pan the week prior and is more healthy. So Cardinals don't have much to play for. I don't think he deserves to be on your roster.
No, I fully agree. I mean, if you notice how great Trey McBride has been over the last several weeks, it's with the
really
then opposite effect of Hollywood Brown. So especially with him on bye week, if you're fighting for a spot, or if you're talking about playing defense, I think he's worth dropping to play defense. I fully agree, Doc. And Alex, who are you eating off the roster?
I'm going with Drake London. He's still rostered on 88% of leagues on Sleeper, which was absolutely insane to me. He has one game in the top 30 since his week 6 performance, that breakout that everyone was hoping was going to sustain into something this year. He's not doing much. Yes, he is seeing between 5 and 7 targets a game. But when they're from Desmond Ridder or Taylor Heineke, they're almost as bad as seeing targets from the 4 of us. It's not going to lead to any production. And not to mention Atlanta's 26 in pass attempts per game. So you can afford to drop him if you need a backup QB, a defense, and pick him up after this week when he doesn't do anything again.
Yeah, no, I love Drake London. It would be tough for me to cut him. You make great arguments.
In a 12 team, I would still keep him.
Yeah, it would be tough.
You're not playing him.
Now, granted, it was the Jets last week. How many completions do you think Desmond Ridder had? If anybody knows off the top of their head.
Probably not
15.
too many.
That was 12. He had 12 completions.
Jeez.
And I want to say, I forget the stat exactly. It was definitely very minimal yards went to wide receivers. Like almost none of the yards. It was all to wide receivers. It was all to tight ends. Like Pitts at 50 yards.
Pruitt caught
But I mean, it's been like that all season. Like you're hoping he goes what 5 for 55 rather than
here's the thing though.
The 5 for 40.
Drake London has high upside where you wouldn't want that used against you.
Which is what might be.
He hasn't done it once this season.
He has a 9 for 125 game, 5 for 91, 6 for 67. Keep in mind all of this with poor QB play.
All right, Rachel's back for another question. Should I claim Jacoby Myers and drop Downs or Dortch?
I think it's time to drop Dortch. Just for
I would drop him on his bye week. You can always get him next week.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Now, I love Josh Downs more than is healthy, but I almost put him for the yeeting off of the roster because he's had 4 less than stellar weeks in a row, and I have way too many shares of him, so I've been significantly affected. But I think Downs has the potential to bounce back. So I would definitely drop Dortch in that situation. All
right, there you go, Rachel. Thanks for tuning in. And now this has to be now our most famous segment of the show. I mean, we had I can't remember the listener's name last week, but he was like, "Oh, did I miss the segment?" I'm like, "Yeah, you did not miss it. Don't worry, we got you covered." So that was great. So never been done before was Doc getting the random tight end touchdown of the week correct 2 weeks ago, and then we said, "What if you could do it 2 weeks in a row?" Well, he did it. So now we're going for the three-peat. The odds are against us, but we're gonna play. We're gonna play to win. Doc, who is your random tight end touchdown of week 14?
Look, if I'm going to keep this streak going, I can't have it be with mainstream guys. Tucker Kraft and Noah Gray are not mainstream guys. So I have to stick with that. And I'm going Brock Wright. Brock Wright, 1 target each of the last 2 weeks, playing about 39 to 45% snap share.
Can we help the audience? Who does he play for?
He is the backup tight end for the Lions.
All right. So I guarantee you most people didn't know who he played for. So I appreciate
that's what I'm saying. But he has 2 games above a 60% snap count. And the Lions have a good offense. Once again, is it popular? No. But I'm going to put a few bucks on it for sure. And if it gets 3, then at that point, I'm a god. And
if it gets 3, retire the segment.
Yeah.
Go out.
You're going to have to find a new host.
We'll need a new segment if you get 3 in a row. I will give you that.
Yeah. It's my like I can get out of jail free
swan song.
All right, so our buddy Mike is calling him Sam Laporte B. Is Brock Wright? I love it. New team name, just for this week, Doc. And I will say, I told the guys before, it was not a random tight end, but I was saying Evan Ingram was due. A lot of people were saying that. It's not just me.
I
Finally got a touchdown.
Yours.
I can't do it anymore after I got one right and now Doc's in 2 in a row. This is Doc's thing. I do not have one for this week. I want it to be all about Doc after he got 2 in a row.
You're too
I can't take the shine away.
His 49ers win. He gets the tight ends right again.
It was a good
weekend of his life.
Profitable for betting. Fantasy teams did well. It was one of those.
You're no David, but you got the random tight end touchdown of the week.
It was a good day for Mendelssohn's, we'll say.
Yeah, David had a great weekend. We're happy for you, David. Share the love.
Please.
Give us your bets.
David's the proud owner of a PS5.
Oh, we saw that. Yeah. No. We're very happy for you, David. Getting that Greg Dortch money. We love it. But with that, I mean, let's go Brock Wright. We're all team Brock Wright this week. I want to see 3 in a row. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Shane. Before we go, though, Shane, can you tell everyone where they can find you? Plug anything you got going on, please.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at FFShaneB. Not a whole lot going on in season. I am a ranker for RotoHeat. I need to actually tweak those. And then have taken a little hiatus from my show, Redzone Redemption. But in the off season, be paying attention for tweets and whatever the hell you want to call them at this point about Polly's playoff. We will be going into year 5. It is a tournament to end Alzheimer's. Alex, I think, has played before. Zach was on the podathon this year. So year 5 is going to be, I'm bringing out all the heavy stops to make it a ton of fun this year. So make sure you sign up and follow me on Twitter at FFShaneB for that. X, awesome. Twitter, whatever you want to call it. I don't care anymore.
It's whatever you want it to be. But we appreciate you coming on, Shane. It was great to have you. Polly's playoff is awesome. It's a great
Definitely
cause.
Enjoyed playing in last year.
Yeah,
everyone should sign up for year 5. It's a lot of fun.
But it is week 14, gentlemen. This is the final week before the regular season ends. So good luck to you all out there. Get those wins. We want to see you in the playoffs. So you come back for week 15 preview next week, and we can help you get ready to win your. Hopefully, you just got a bye week. You can just relax. We can just have a good time next week. But if not, we will get you ready to win that first round of the playoffs. So good night, everybody. Like I said, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and we'll see you next week.